Josh and I got to work with Laraji, who's one of the all-time most legendary New Age performers and composers. Laraji is exactly what happens when you follow your own path. It was just an honor of a lifetime working with Laraji.
In 2025, Josh Safdie decided it would be a great idea to bring in an actor to portray this brilliant and talented tennis player, Marty Reeseman.
Some of my favorite cues are whenever Gwyneth's on screen. Reflections of Kay's elegance and her lightness and her beauty and the melancholy. I love scoring any scene with Kay in it. Josh really wanted this kind of almost Baroque quality to the music, so I wanted to find my way into that kind of music my way.
Now the film is loosely based on him, which means there's a lot that's in the storyline that was inspired by his events, but usually this means they amped it up for entertainment purposes.
But I don't know why you think the 50s, I think of bowling alleys. It's like, all right, well, to create this fictional place, and every face was very important. We had one day to shoot all of that.
All right, here we go. Your turn.
First, it was impossible to find a bowling alley that didn't look like 1980s.
So Jack had to turn the bowling alley back to 1952 when the bowling alley was only a few years old. So the whole bowling alley got like a free makeover.
Set in the 1950s, it follows fictional American table tennis player Marty Muser, loosely based on Marty Reeseman, in his quest to become a world champion.
You could really have fun with prints and patterns and color and feel like that was the time to play.
You would show me some stuff and it'd almost feel modern in its casual nature, and you just realize where we've gone.
T-shirts, you know, things that we couldn't show in the city. It was my opportunity to show in the country.
The trick of the work we do is that you don't see it.
But before we get into more of these behind the scenes moments, today's trivia question: what was Timothée Chalamet's breakout role? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around till the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
And they were able to play, and then the larger set guy that's sitting on the sidelines, we street scouted.
Get my dollar back, boy. Get my dollar back. In the middle of the game, you forfeit the game then.
It didn't matter who's being featured and who's not. Everyone was so excited to be about the fabric of this film and like really brought a texture.
Calera was really fun for me because in city versus country, that's the biggest. It's like what city people dress like in that time versus the country. It's color palette.
Marty Supreme, backed and distributed by A24, came to Safdie as he was finishing work on Uncut Gems when his wife handed him a book written by table tennis champion Marty Reeseman. The memoir got Safdie's creative juices flowing.
The film is about being an idiot in your early 20s in a lot of ways. I've heard that said affectionately, and I agree.
Every man for himself where I come from. That's just how I grew up. Hey, what are you doing?
It's sort of about like being a bowling ball when you know, being young is tough enough, in your early 20s is tough enough, and if you make yourself vulnerable to a degree by being open about a dream, then you risk not only being dumb, but foolish in the eyes of others.
He'd never directed a period movie, never worked on the kind of budget this project would require, but still started out the same way, chatting up his longtime co-writer, Ronald Bronstein, and the rest is history.
It was one of the first things that was written, was the hustle that Wally and Marty partake in. You think about how to architect a hustle, particularly trying to understand the time period.
I'll play. Oh, wow.
You're playing to the advantage of one person, sympathizing with one person over the other.
The story of a New York striver was relatable to the actor whose training similarly began at the local level at LaGuardia High School. There's this New York connection that I couldn't even put into words, and I'd failed trying to, but that's just true to my spirit, Chalamet says.
Because when you're filming in one direction, everyone else can be quiet, but if you're filming in all directions,
well, I would do it even if it was a close-up of a hand. And to be honest, we worked together twice before now. I'm on set thinking Skip's gonna fix it.
Safdie ran Baker through the full ending he envisioned for his 1950s set odyssey about professional ping pong player Marty Muser. Originally, the film would jump ahead to the 1980s for its ending, with Marty having made the shoe store he works at the beginning of the film into a massively successful franchise.
It wasn't that early, but I do have, you know, like I did on Dune, I have stuff with the guitar, I have stuff in Dune outfits playing. But the studio films are so long that the schedules are elongated by nature, so it's almost a responsibility on those projects to have something to check out of. I feel like that's crucial to my artistic process, at least. Some people are 2 feet in
Marty Supreme is set in 1952, not least because Reeseman was determined to win the World Table Tennis Championship in Mumbai that year. Spoiler alert, he did not.
You know, when I'm approaching every scene, I try to understand whose perspective it is, and sometimes that can be multiple people's perspectives, but you root it in one person's subjectivity for the most part. And this scene in particular is the intoxication of Marty. This is how he infects other people. This is what makes Marty a beautiful person.
Jack Fisk is behind the looks of some of the most distinctive films of the past 30 years plus, including Marty Supreme.
Not the night before or even 2 nights before, like a week before, making sure that stuff was getting locked in my body, because also there's script changes at the last second, what have you. I love that line, the ape thing. That was one that Josh really had a very specific vision on.
Come on, keep going!
Because that scene is so confrontational, a lot of the movie's so confrontational. Sometimes I'd have an instinct to go, not big, but go high wire on things.
Josh has got so much energy and is such a lover of New York, and I was always trying to find things that I could tell him that were a little different. But he was ahead of me, says Fisk.
It was very important for Timmy to know how to play every single point. So he understood the mechanics and the effort that was required. In order to perform every single trick, he needed to know how to do them. And I love seeing the videos of him learning how to blow the ball over the net. And sometimes we were able to get that, live and on set.
Locations included New York's Plaza Hotel and Indonesian Embassy, which stood in for swanky London hotels, and the Woolworth Mansion on East 80th Street.
And Marty is a relentless dreamer. It's almost a pathological dreamer, and will not take no for an answer, because his quest is one that no one believes in. And making Uncut Gems was a 10-year journey that a lot of people really didn't believe in, and they laughed when we asked for a certain budget. And
Softy confirmed that Pattinson provided the voice for the British umpire commentator during the film's opening tournament scenes. The director explained that the uncredited role came about naturally. I don't know about any British people, Softy joked, recounting how he invited Pattinson to the booth to lend his voice to the British opening semifinals.
Here, I didn't doing that. Stealing, from reality is so baked into my DNA, and it helps make me feel like I'm a spectator in that world. So I have to kind of trick myself into that. So the daunting part here was, all right, it's period. So I have to build that from the ground up. And that's when I went and got Jack Fisk.
This hidden reunion between the Good Time director and actor serves as a primer for the upcoming clash between Pattinson and Chalamet in Dune Part 3, set for release in December of 2026.
I chambered Diego Schlaf to prepare to play table tennis in this film, along with his brilliant wife, Wei Wang, former Chinese Olympian, an incredible table tennis player. There's a responsibility as an actor, no matter how cheesy it sounds, when you represent a community, in this film, the table tennis community. The way if you play a musician, the way if you are playing basketball on screen, if you're playing soccer on screen, you have to put the time in so it looks real on screen. In other words, to someone in that community, it looks respectable and passable.
Notably, Marty Supreme still ends with the Tears for Fears song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, in its closing moment. It just takes place at a 1950s hospital rather than 1980s concert.
You always follow the character in the story. That's your mantra in a way, because that's all that matters, because you're telling a story. When I was inspired by this world, part of the inspiration was, because you can always find, a world and figure out a way to make it contemporary and, modernize it for budgetary reasons.
And as far as the answer to a trivia question, one would probably consider Dune to be one of his greatest acting projects, but his breakout role was in Call Me By Your Name in 2017.
Well, it's a little bit like professional wrestling, right? It's like it's pre-scripted, but the effects, the athletic effects are real. And if anything, if a heightened athletic event like a basketball game or a table tennis match is over 2 hours, 3 hours, we would shoot some of these scenes over 12 hours, 3-4 days in a row. It's more a marathon than a traditional sprint of an athletic event.
But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all these moments? Which one was your favorite, and what did you think of the portrayal of this real-life person? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
And you're gonna yell back to Cody.
set versus Roger. Correct. Yeah. Oftentimes, a lot of the background don't even know we're shooting.
Cameras,
Yeah.
every direction.
So the only way to shoot it that day was to have like 3 cameras.
Yeah, we shot with multiple cameras, all in different directions.
None of them were compromised.
Well,